You heard it before you felt it. The axe handle cracked on a Saturday morning, and your first thought was not how to fix it. It was which store was still open. I know that thought. The new axe on the shelf costs $26.88, but a hickory replacement handle costs $17.99, and hanging it takes about an hour. Same steel, better balance. Almost $9 still in your pocket. My father would not have called that a trick. He would have called it Tuesday. Today, I am going to show you the box that made repairs like that ordinary. The repair box. What went in it, what it costs to build one now, and the 3 fixes it was built for. And near the end, I will read you the pages from a real federal bulletin from 1909 that describe that box almost shelf by shelf and tell you where to read it free. Come down to the workshop with me. The green ledger lives in the top drawer of the bench, worn cloth cover, frayed corners, pencil columns, and a careful hand. And in my telling, beneath that drawer sat a wooden box, and nothing in this house stayed broken for long. Now the honest line, because this channel lives on it. Walt, the ledger, and that box under the bench are storytelling. My family scenes are the frame, not the evidence. The evidence is public paper. Here is what the record actually says. Between 1929 and 1932, gross farm income in this country fell from about $13.8 billion to about $6.4 billion. That is a drop of more than half. The net income farm families actually kept fell about 70%. Those numbers come from the Census Bureau's own historical tables. When money like that disappears, replacement stops being a choice. Repair becomes the household policy. And the government did not leave people guessing. Federal farmers' bulletins taught the repair outfit by name. What supplies to keep, what spares to stock, how to mend a strap and hang a handle. Real documents you can still read tonight for free. By the end of this video, you will have the full box list with today's prices, the 3 fixes that generation refused to pay strangers for, and the honest arithmetic on when repair wins and when it loses. I spent 40 years as a machinist. I measured steel for a living. And still I spent my middle years buying tools twice. There was a drawer in my garage I did not like to open. 2 hammers with loose heads. A rake with no handle. A leaf blower. We will not speak of the leaf blower. Every one of them replaced with a store trip, and every trip written into the checkbook like weather. Something that just happens to a man. The country keeps that same drawer, only bigger. The Environmental Protection Agency counts what it calls durable goods in our trash. Tools, furniture, appliances, the things built to last. In its most recent full accounting, for the year 2018, we generated over 57 million tons of them, and more than 37 million tons went into the ground, not food wrappers, goods. So I did what I did last time with the suppers. I priced the whole thing in daylight. Every item in the repair box I am about to give you was priced on July 12, 2026, from national online hardware listings, mostly Ace hardware pages I could verify, with the rest from current store listings. Prices move. Stores differ. A sale changes everything. Before you trust my total, price your own list where you live. The ledger does not lie, friend, but it only speaks for the day it was written. Remember that. Here is a system. 1 box, 5 departments. My price for the whole core box, bought new in one day, was $161.30. Hold your objection to that number. It shrinks in a few minutes. Department 1 is the container itself. A 16-inch toolbox runs about $12. A wooden crate or an old ammunition box does the same work for nothing. Department 2 is fasteners. An assortment of wood screws, an assortment of nails and brads, and a small spool of galvanized wire. About $37 all new. This department is the cure for the missing screw, and the old bulletin I will read you later says it plainly. Do not keep every size mixed together in one can. Give each size its own place so the right screw is findable on short notice. That single habit is the difference between a 5-minute fix and a trip to the store. Department 3 is glues and fillers. 2-part epoxy, wood glue, and a small tub of wood filler, about $27. Department 4 is edges and rust. A 2-sided sharpening stone, an 8-inch mill file, sandpaper, fine steel wool, and a wire brush, about $58. Department 5 is oils and tape. Penetrating oil, household oil, electrical tape, duct tape, about $28. Now the 3 fixes. First, the loose or broken handle. Buy a hickory replacement. 14 inches for a hammer at $13.99. 36 inches for an axe at $17.99. Drill out and drive out the old wood. Fit the new handle snug with a rasp or sandpaper. Seat the head square. Drive the wooden wedge, then the metal wedge across it, and trim flush. Put on safety glasses stamped Z87 before you strike anything. Steel chips do not give warnings. Second, the torn strap. A sewing awl with waxed thread costs $26.99. It sews a lock stitch through leather, the same stitch a machine makes, locked so one break does not unravel the row. Punch along the old stitch line, pull each loop tight, and back stitch the last inch. A 1921 Cornell repair lesson taught exactly this, stitch and rivet, and called a prompt repair a stitch in time. A new leather work belt runs $27.94. The awl pays for itself the first afternoon, and every strap after that costs thread. Third, the missing screw. That is not a repair. That is Department 2, already waiting in its bin. 1 hour on a Saturday. That is the whole method. The box does the remembering, so your hands can do the work. So where did the box go? In 1935, the census counted 20,325 blacksmith shops still working. The census itself noted that many of them were doing repair work on farm implements, automobiles, and machinery. Repair was not a hobby. It was an industry with a storefront in nearly every town. Then the arithmetic flipped. After the war came cheaper goods, cheaper freight, and eventually a hammer that cost $7.18 brand new in my July price check. A hickory replacement handle costs almost twice what that whole new hammer costs. When the price of new fell below the price of parts, the repair habit starved. The blacksmith shops closed. The knowledge did not get disproven. It got underpriced, and the marketing men finished the job. They learned to sell replacement as progress and repair as poverty. A man with a wire brush and a Saturday started to look old-fashioned next to a man with a credit card. It is not conspiracy, it is arithmetic. But notice what the arithmetic actually says. It says repair lost on the cheapest goods. It never lost on the good ones. The axe head, the leather strap, the well-made spade. those still reward an hour at the bench. The old saying about using it up and wearing it out has roots older than the Depression, and the war posters made it famous. The families of the 30s did not need the poster, they had the box. If you are thinking this only works for a man with a farm shop and a forge, stay with me. This next part is for a kitchen drawer and a closet shelf. Do not buy the box in one trip. Build it in 4 Saturdays. Saturday 1, the container and the fasteners. Saturday 2, the glues, tapes, and oils. Saturday 3, the stone, the file, and the steel wool. Saturday 4, the handle and strap tools if your house needs them. About $69 more for the awl, the handles, and the linseed oil. Spread out, no single trip costs much more than a restaurant lunch. Before you buy anything, harvest. The 1909 bulletin told farmers to save every small piece of good material. The rule still pays. A broken chair gives up its screws. A dead appliance gives up its bolts. An old belt becomes strap stock. Half of a repair box is free if you stop throwing it away. Now the honest ledger, because repair does not always win. If the whole tool costs less than its parts, replacement wins. That $7 hammer is the proof. I will not tell you to spend $14 on a handle for it. Repair wins on quality tools, on tools that fit your hand, and on anything where the replacement is worse than what you already own. Your hour counts too. If a fix will take 3 evenings and $40 in materials, the ledger may say buy new. Write it down and let the number decide. Some things you do not repair at all. A cracked grinding wheel goes in the trash, no exceptions. Federal workplace rules say a wheel that sounds dead when tapped instead of ringing clear shall not be used. A cracked wheel can burst at speed. A ladder with a split rail or a bad rung comes out of service tagged, and for a household that means replaced, not improvised. Electricity has its own fence. Unplug anything before you touch it. A damaged cord or plug means replace, not tape. And for house wiring, the Electrical Safety Foundation says it straight. Turn off the breaker, test before touching, and hire a licensed electrician for the work. I sharpen my own chisels. I do not rewire my own walls. 3 more warnings. Rags wet with boiled linseed oil can heat up and catch fire by themselves in a pile. That is around 900 home fires a year. Dry them flat outside, weighted down, away from the house. Then keep the dried rags in a sealed metal can with water. Second, paint from before 1978 may contain lead, and sanding it makes lead dust. Do not dry sand old painted handles or furniture before checking the Environmental Protection Agency's lead guidance. Third, dress back any chisel head that has mushroomed over and keep those Z87 glasses on. And a dull blade is officially more dangerous than a sharp one. The safety people have said so for decades. The Centers for Disease Control adds one quiet line. Stay current on your tetanus vaccination and see to any wound properly, especially a puncture. Talk to your doctor, not to me. Everything I have pulled out of the ledger lives in one place. The Depression Household System, $17 at grandpasledger.com. It includes the printable monthly ledger pages, 30 food-stretching recipes with per-plate costs, the seasonal bill-cutting calendar, the pantry and preservation guide, and yes, the repair box checklist, the same 5 departments from this video with every line ready to mark off. Yours forever. No subscription. The link is in the description. Now stay right here because what comes next is the page I built this whole video around. In 1909, the United States Department of Agriculture printed Farmer's Bulletin number 347. The Repair of Farm Equipment by W.R. Beatty, 32 pages. This is not a Depression document, it is older. It is the bulletin that generation grew up on. You can read the scan tonight, free, through the Internet Archive. Search Farmer's Bulletin 347. Listen to what it tells the reader to do. Keep a supply of timber, bar iron, bolts, rivets, and screws constantly on hand, and renew the stock as it runs low. Keep spare handles waiting. The bulletin lists axe handles, hammer handles, hoe and rake handles, fork handles, and shovel handles. It should be the practice, the bulletin says, to save every small piece of good material and store it in a dry place. Do not keep all sizes of bolts or screws mixed together in a single receptacle. Fit up suitable boxes or bins so that the supplies may be accessible on short notice. There it is, the repair box in a government sentence from 1909. Keep all tools clean and free from rust, and all edge tools sharp. And then this, which I want you to hear twice. The proper maintenance of farm machines not only saves money, but avoids danger to those who operate them. Saves money and avoids danger, both halves in one government line. 27 years later, in February of 1936, the department was still saying it. Farmer's Bulletin 1754 warned that many machines had been scrapped while still capable of several years of useful work, if a small sum were spent on repairs. The same bulletin measured dullness. A dull mower blade in poor adjustment took 30 to 35% more power to make the same cut, for want of a stone and a file. And in April of 1935, on a national radio broadcast, an Indiana county agent described a farm he had just visited. A mower, 39 years old. A binder, 35 years old. In good condition and still in service. The box was never a poverty trick. It was federal advice printed for the ordinary farm family. When the head seat's square on a new hickory handle and the wedge goes home, the feeling is not excitement. It is the quiet satisfaction of a man who owns his tools again, instead of renting their replacements one break at a time. Here is the whole entry in 4 lines. $17.99 for the axe handle against $26.88 for a new axe. $26.99 once for the awl that mends every strap in the house. 5 departments in one box built over 4 Saturdays, half of it harvested free. And permission, written in your own ledger, to buy the $7 hammer when the arithmetic says so. That is the system. Honest numbers, and a box that remembers. Do one thing for me in the comments. Write the oldest tool in your house and how old it is. Just the tool and the years. That is all. I read everyone. Next Saturday, I am carrying the ledger to the coldest room in this house, the one the furnace never quite convinces. There is a heating trick from 1936 in the old bulletins, and what I found when I checked the arithmetic on it changed where Carol and I sit in January. This is not a channel. It is a family ledger, reopened, one entry at a time. Subscribe if you want to help recover the next page.